Okay, so let's tie this into back bends. We'll do two. We'll do bow pose, Dhanurasana, and we'll do camel. One of the ways to avoid sort of that hyperextension in the lumbar in bow pose is to use a bolster. And I'm going to have Catherine go backwards just a little bit more. So her pubis is really kind of hanging down off the edge. So she has this angle here. So I'm just basically using the prop to prevent her from going into a big anterior tilt. Because that's what she wants to do. Okay, so she's going to reach back toward her heels. And one of the things that we also like to teach is that you just grab your ankles and tug. So she's going to do the opposite. She's going to push her fingertips into her heels to create more global tension. And then she can really work on that spinal rigidity in the front. And she has the support of the bolster to help her find it.
And the hamstrings get a workout too.
Yeah. So camel pose, you want to explain why you like the bolster on the calves?
So this is, again, it's more reference for my body. Whee! I'm kind of pull up in there. I can use this to create that contraction in the hamstring.
It really anchors her down. A lot of times we'll say cues in this pose, we'll say things like press your shins into the ground, but if you can't feel it, you can't feel it. So the weight gives her some support. And then she's actually going to go backwards a little bit. So she actually does a little bit of like sitting back onto the bolster. So she's not, again, just jamming her pelvis forward because she can do that. She'll place her hands at her lower back. And then from this kind of tucked back position and the spinal rigidity, she'll now start to lift the chest. So she is not going to do the back bend between the xiphoid and the pubis. She's going to do it from above. So there's a lot more thoracic movement there. Yeah, and it might not look big and global, but it certainly feels like it.
So you saw when I went into the position, I probably wasn't getting a huge amount of thoracic extension because that is a very common area on hypermobiles that we're actually hypomobile. A lot of times we don't have a lot of extension and or rotation in the thoracic spine. So that's a really good way to try to gain some in the thoracic spine.
Quiets movement in an area that moves a lot and brings movement to an area that doesn't. Great. So try that skill out. Work on it with your students. Work on it in your own body. Remember to always teach it in a simple position on your back or something with the blocks, and then weave it through more complex poses. Thanks for joining us.